John Nevins was born in Philadelphia in 1931. His career as a priest started with his ordination in 1957, but his interest in social justice started much earlier.
When my mother died, I was going through a lot of her belongings, and there was this one, well, I mean, there's all sorts of things and pictures that I hadn't seen. Matter of fact, there's a picture of my mom in there too when she was a young lady, you know, so it's an old picture, and I thought, you know, my sisters look like her, you know, and but at any rate, I was going through that, and among the many other things, I found this just nondescript envelope. I think it might, on the envelope, it might say sister, but it's a tiny little thing. And inside it says, "Dear sister, I have never thrown," this is something, it's like this, "I have never thrown a spitball in my life, and not in this class either. John Nevins," you know. And I asked some of the sisters up at the Grey Nuns who've taught in elementary school, I said, actually the handwriting is better there than it is now. I said, what grade would I have been in? They said, I guess second or third, I guess. I said, I guess that's my first protest letter. But it was funny coming across that, and I thought, I'll bet the sisters had a grand time when they saw that, you know, and I don't remember what the incident was, but I guess I was accused. Now, I was at St. Martin of Tours, you know, and we probably had like 100 kids in the grade at that time. It was a very, very big school. So the sister, we all, you know, I can imagine, they really had us under control, but I wasn't going to take the fall for anybody else.
Jack's relationship with sisters improved over time, and as a young priest, he found himself on the other side of the desk as a teacher at Cardinal Doherty High School.
I started getting involved, well, myself and you know, a friend of mine, Frank Schmidt, he is a priest, and he's Monsignor, and I had an idea. I didn't like teaching, and I saw him one day. I said, I just don't like the idea. Now I was coaching too, and I said, you know, they're getting more out of coaching than out of teaching. So I came up with the idea, and I talked with him about having like service type of thing. So he's very good at organizing things. So he immediately started getting involved in that. Grew into the community service corps. When he was put in charge of youth activities, he took something that we had started there and he expanded.
In addition to advancing the notion of service learning, Father Nevins reached thousands of young adults through the Search for Christian Maturity program and his own religion seminar program at Doherty, both of which were fueled by peer ministry. Jack himself continued to serve and to learn even as he moved on to parish work.
Now, at one point, even after I was done teaching and I was working in a parish, a couple came in one time to see me about, I forget what it was. They had jackets on, and I said, what do those jackets stand for? Because it was Rolling Thunder. And they said, well, you know, it's a motorcycle group, and we're concerned about missing in action and killed in Vietnam. Well, initially when they said Rolling Thunder and they were involved with Vietnam veterans, I said, I guess we'd have a different take on that war. And so after we chatted for a while, they said, actually, your perception is the same as ours. So they asked me to be their chaplain.
Father Nevins has provided spiritual guidance and chaplaincy to communities all throughout our region.
I have an experience of being in a whole lot of different parishes that are closed now. And for that matter, I'm a chaplain for the Grey Nuns right now, and they've had to sell their property. So I wouldn't, and of course for years I lived and I was running the retreats at Camp Newman, and that's closed now or sold. So I would say I don't have a terribly good track record.
Although there have been closings, the legacy of Father John Nevins will always rest in what he helped open for several generations of young adults. He opened curious minds to reflection, self-awareness, and self-actualization. He opened doors so that youth could take part in service. And he opened hungry hearts to experience faith in new and meaningful ways. John Nevins is so loved that if he ever does throw a spitball, there will be thousands of people willing to take the fall for him, even sisters.
If there's a cause worthy of attention or something of that kind, I sort of do what I can to promote it, or to be behind it. Currently I guess it involves a matter of justice for the women religious, the LCWR and things of that kind, groups of that kind. I think they have a good point, and I would hope that I hope Pope Francis intervenes, and he has said he likes a mess, and the worst thing he could say about the sisters is that they're doing the mess that he recommended, and for the causes I think that he believes in. I won't get political.